I went to see an opera teacher because I realized that it was a film, but I was in a play and everyone else was in a film, in a sense that demands on my voice and demands on my vocal cords. And and no one would say that. No one would ever prep me for that. I got to prep myself.
So Daniel, I watched Judas and the Black Messiah last night, and uh, at the risk of sounding like I'm fawning, I mean, I think it's crazy because I watched One Night in Miami last week. Then this is the movie I watched this week, and it feels weird to say this and when it's just January at the time of we're taping this, but I'm pretty sure this will be the best thing that I see this year. I'm pretty sure it will be. And One Night in Miami was pretty damn good.
Amazing film. That's an amazing film. I love
Yeah, yeah. But this, I mean, y'all got me ready to start the revolution to go out there. Like I'm keyed up. But it was a dynamite film, and your portrayal of Fred Hampton is really, really extraordinary. So I really want to start there. How much did you know about Fred Hampton before you took this role?
I wasn't educated about him at school for sure. Was not. Had a very limited awareness about the Black Panther Party and through my curriculum. And then I don't know, just started living life. And obviously I was doing, working, hanging out, and then I would find out more about the Black Panther Party. And I only hit me yesterday how in 2016 I read a starter's book. So I read that. I think I was just interested in that world, and I was just doing it in my spare time. And I would hear about Fred Hampton and hear about him from friends and documentaries and stuff around. But and art, hearing from different artworks and music and people referencing him, and then doing my research on him from the references. But I didn't know it was something I wanted to do some in-depth reading and studying on in my own time. And then this film presented a really incredible opportunity to do that.
At least from what I've read, and certainly feel free to correct me if this isn't accurate, is that Ryan Coogler brought you this on or broached this idea with you on the set of Black Panther. Is that correct?
Yeah, on the reshoots of Black Panther, Ryan and Zinzi, the producers on it, kind of just came up to me, pulled me to the side. It was the last reshoot. I was doing the scene by myself, which was intense because it was like Denai was in the scene and I had to pretend that she was, and she wasn't. And then I did that, and then he just pulled me to the side and spoke to me about this film and spoke to me about the intention that he wants for it, the reach that he wanted, the impact that he wanted for it, and then spoke about me and Lakeith being a part of it and uniting again, and Shaka King. He just spoke highly of Shaka King, and yeah, and so then I read the treatment, met Shaka, then I read the script, and then I was like, yeah, I'm in.
How do you go about preparing for this kind of role? Because it doesn't just include knowing the history, but just watching you, and then I watched some videos of Fred Hampton, and you got his voice perfect.
Well, thank
So
you so
talk
much.
about that. Yeah, talk about that process and what that was like to try to really nail this character.
It was I kind of did this. I just followed my insights and I followed my instincts on it, and I kind of feel like I didn't want to focus him as an individual until I understood the thinking around the party, understood the ideas and concepts that they were discussing and sharing and educating people on. So I got the Black Panther reading list from Shaka, and in order to be a fully fledged Panther, you need to do 6 weeks of political education. So I read the majority of books on that reading list, and then I would do dialect. I know I spent a week with Shaka, and a week with Shaka a year before we started, and I just said the speeches, and we recorded me saying the speeches, the actual speeches, not the script, but the speeches that he said, and then it was just like it was such an amazing place to like explore and kind of hear from Shaka what he registered from Chairman Fred, and then what I registered, and just play, and without like, oh, we're gonna play to do it tomorrow. We just played, which was really important. And then I did my dialect coach Audrey Lacrone. Me and her just kind of just battered, like just diligently worked worked. Then I went to see an opera teacher. I went to see an opera teacher because I realized that it was a film, but I was in a play and everyone else was in a film, in a sense that demands on my voice and demands on my vocal cords. And no one would say that. No one would ever prep me for that. I got to prep myself because there'll be whole days when I'm doing speeches and it's like, if like any muscle in your body, if you're using it at the most intense and visceral point of it all day, it's gonna erode, and it needs to be strong enough to deal with that workload. So I went to do opera. I went to the opera teacher, and then I would sing gospel songs, sing songs that felt like Chairman Fred's speeches. So I sang a lot of James Brown, and then I would do the speeches. And then I wanted to hit it from a technical standpoint. So there's two technical standpoints that I was looking for. Was also vocal cords and diaphragm conditioning, but also cadence, and understanding that his speech cadence and his talking cadence are two different cadences. And so it's kind of pinpointing and hitting that. And then I realized that, like, oh, when I was watching the speeches and doing the classes, I was like, oh, this is the talking version of singing as opposed to the singing version of talking. And when he does these speeches, so I approach them like songs. And I think.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What I was thinking was just that it was like, it's a big difference between doing just an American accent, right? But you're doing a Chicago accent on top of that. That's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
And there's a lot of different. Influences in that Chicago accent because his parents are from the South and because of this and because everything else is like, it's all that, and you want that to be baked into his speech and everything else. And it just like, it's like going through the speech and going through the dialect and going, okay, that's from there, that's from this region, that's from that region. And he's just a melting pot and everything, which is kind of makes him appeal to everyone. But yeah, it was a lot of work.
I recently had Damson Idris on the podcast.
Yeah, he texted me. He said how much he loved you. He said, yo, you got to be on the show. He like, yeah, you got to come to Jemele's show.
I appreciate him saying that. We spent a whole lot of time talking about Nando's, so I think that's probably.
What do you know about Nando's? Do you know about Nando's?
Listen, I know about Nando's. I'm a sports reporter by trade, a sports journalist, I should say. That was my background, right? So I went to the World Cup in 2010, and that's when I got introduced to Nando's in South Africa.
Oh, South Africa. Yeah, I've had Nando's in South Africa. They go to the home. Listen, when you're in London, we gotta go Nando's. Say nothing. Say less.
That's the same thing he said.
Say less, like, bro.
Gotta go to Nando's. You got me. All right. Yeah. I remember you said that. And right now in my pantry, I got some peri peri sauce, so I know what's up.
You're ready. You're prepping. You're prepped. I feel you.
But the question I asked him was that why is it that British actors are so much better at American accents than the other way around? Like, Americans that try to do British accents are like, they're not all bad, but they're all, pretty bad. And you all are so good at imitating not just an American accent, but from different regions. From, him on Snowfall, he's doing somebody from LA. You're doing people from, Chicago. What are your theories or thoughts on that about why you all seem better equipped at this?
No, I feel like it's something. I think it's a lot of times to do with exposure that we've just been exposed to the American accent at a young age. I think American actors are incredible. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen a couple that have done a British accent really well. Like, I think Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, who's done the best for you?
Downey Jr. did well. In Sherlock, I think Renee Zellweger did well. She sounds like someone from Chiswick. Like, they kind of can hit it. But I feel it's just like exposure in hours. And I think it's a reflection of the industry within England that there isn't the wealth of projects in order to welcome more American actors to kind of come on our projects in that kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I know there's a number. I know Lakeith was doing one. I think Brian Tyree's doing one at the moment. Like, don't quote me on saying that. I know Dominique's flirting with one. So I'm excited for more American actors doing British accents.
I read this as well, and again, feel free to clear this up. But a bunch of you guys British actors, Black British actors, you guys are all on a text thread. Is that true?
No.
That's not true.
I ain't on that Fred. I ain't on that Fred. They didn't invite me. They didn't invite me. I don't know. They asked me out. They ain't asked me out. I've got actors that I know, but we train together. Like we work out in the morning. There's stuff like that. We don't. It's not like we're talking about the industry. We're just friends. You know what I'm saying? We know each other for like 15, 16 years. So when we go festivals, we roll out. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just normal. They're just friends.
Yeah.